Hey Tyler, you may already be in bed if you've got an early start for Canada tomorrow, but I wanted to get this to you. You may be able to watch it while you're sitting around waiting in airports for your flight. Over here on the left is Schifrin. And unfortunately, this is going to be a different kind of term because I just have this little slalom clip and you're making a larger size turn, but you'll be able to see some of the important elements. And when we're looking at what we talked about and what we want the body to do is we want the body to move over the forces of the turn that are trying to push it back and inside as the skis turn, and the body's going to try to move over that towards the next turn. So to do that, you're going to notice the amount of flexing that's going to happen in the ankle over here. And then the other thing we'll notice is that there'll be some angles that get created over here. So with the flexing of the ankle and the creation of the angle here, this whole upper body will move over the forces of the turn that are actually pushing back in this direction. So we'll try to keep an eye on that as we do it real slowly here the first time. So we're edging the skis and notice first of all this collapsing angle over here as and this is a stiff slalom boot, and look at how much acute angle gets put on there. It's just really, really crushing that boot out. And so it starts and it builds and it builds and builds because the forces are building and building and building, and that's what keeps everything moving forward over those forces. And then if we look up here now at the side of the body, and we'll notice that here it's mostly just inclined, and we'll start to see it's not the greatest angle, but that angle starts building and building and building in the side of the body. We'll see a better picture of this. I've got a better angle in just a minute. But so what that's doing is it's helping to keep the upper body moving over the turn forces that are trying to push it back this way. So you can think about it as just flexing the ankle continuously and building this angle on the side of the body. So the flexing and the tipping of the upper body to the outside of the turn. Flex and tip, flex and tip, flex and tip. And so we can actually go right up and see as this turn starts to build, we're already past the transition point and starting to put the weight out here on the new outside ski, and we can really see that motion starts right from the very early part of the edging, where we're going to notice that we're flexing forward and starting to create those angles. Now if we look over here, you are just in transition, and now as you move into transition, we will watch your right leg here, and what we'll notice is that we're going to see that leg really never straight lengthens out and gets long at all. In fact, it's going to start at this point, it's already bending and collapsing. So you go right from here and that leg never gets long and strong. It just, you start to put a little bit of weight on it, and then immediately it's going to start to bend a little bit as you start trying to drive that leg and that edge inside the ski so far and so fast. Let's just see if we can get this guy to move up here a little bit farther. And one of the things you'll notice here, it's not a great camera angle, but you can see that it's almost all lateral as that hip and knee really driving the knee in, trying to get that ski over on the edge as fast as you can. And you'll notice too that the ski is starting to bite like right up in here somewhere with the spray where it's starting to come off things at this point. And so what we're seeing is that the ski is being worked very hard from about, the place where your foot is on back through the tail at this point. And if we come over and we look at where the ski is being worked up here for Schiff, it's right off the tip there. So we can see that the front of the ski, just look at how it's getting loaded up here. Bam. And you know, we're not seeing any spray off the front of your skis here at all at this point, and that's just because of where the body is moving as you're coming, uh, almost driving it back and inside real early. That's that kind of dropping back and inside real fast. And then the other thing that we see is there's no forward movement here at the ankle virtually at all. So the overall effect is, you know, your center of mass here is starting to move in the wrong direction real quick and real early. So you'll get into a spot where you're kind of locked all down here and locked in, and you're just going to ride until you're trying to get through the turn. Now this is where you have mentioned to me, because I said, oh, you know, on a steep icy hill you'd be, you know, slipping out, and you talked about all the chattering and issues that you've had, and that's just because the you've got nothing left here to continue generating edge and to keep the upper body moving over the forces of the turn. So the forces of the turn are starting to impact where your body's moving at this point. So hopefully that is something that you can see pretty clearly in this image. And so again, the big idea is, and we've talked about this, you know, before, slow everything down, get that leg long, and start to progressively move it forward so that you can really get some pressure up on those tips and start moving into the turn, and you'll be able to move much more forward with the center of mass of your body as you're coming into the turn. Let's go ahead and take a look at another image here from your next turn is going to be right here that we want to take a look at. I might actually get rid of Schifrin here for a second, just so that we get a little bit better. Oops, I got rid of you. And just so that we get a little bit better look here, and we're going to, my camera work was very poor, so we're just going to bring you to where there's some better camera work and angles to look at here. And we had that nasty sun pointing right at the lens. So here you're kind of right across from the camera. You're starting a right footer, and so we'll kind of see again what we're wanting to look at is where your center of mass is going to be moving at this point. And you can see right away this kind of again, never getting long in the leg, or in the leg and the knee, bending really quick. So right away in the beginning of the turn, this big fast move, and you're dropping back and inside already. So look at how much you'll come way inside. So from here, just the point at which you've come through the transition, you're starting to edge the ski, and from here to here you can really see just how fast you drop back and inside on that turn. Hopefully your eyes can pick that up, back and inside. And so now you're basically stuck back there, and you're just going to grind out the rest of this turn without having any ability to keep moving that upper body in the direction that you want it to be moving. The forces of the turn are actually just pushing back on your whole body at this point, and you can see how you're just kind of stuck riding down in there, just like you're down in your position and you're just grinding. Again, if this were a steep hill, if it were an icy hill, you'd be chattering, you'd be losing edge, you'd be having a really hard time in your turn at this point. And you can see you're just kind of, your whole body mass is back down in here and just getting pushed inside the turn. And now you're going to come up, and you can see right here that as you're coming up, it's going to be kind of upwards, and you're way stuck back in here, and you want your body to be going this way. So it's going to be a battle to get up and then start moving it into that direction. And again, we don't ever see this long, strong position here. You're going to drop back and inside real quick. And now every now and then, not all the time, but you'll notice this upper body rotation that's going on here. Just you'll try to throw that in every now and then if you get into a position where you're feeling like, wow, I'm getting late in this turn, and just watch how much you'll start turning right in here. The shoulders are just going for it. And of course that's going to end up, and then you kind of stop doing it by about this point here. It was just something that you used here to get everything kind of rolling. And now you're just going to come inside, and again, let's see if we can get you a little bit better position. Oh, that's about all I've got. The camera work gets really bad here again. And so let's switch to another view, and this one we will, again, bad camera work on my part, so we'll get you down to a spot where we can get a better look at things here. So in this case here, you're coming up on this left footer. Don't really see as strong of a rotation move in there, but you'll just get right inside and you're down, 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 down. Look at where your body position is. It's almost like it's totally above your inside ski at this point, or your right ski. So you're like right here instead of like being angulated and moving in that direction at this point. You're like crushed down right above your ski at this point. And now you'll notice over here, as this ski is finishing up the edging and starting to release, you can even see this divergence and how hard. Just look at how crushed you are right above that ski. And so again, now you're going to release way out here, and you're now in this position where you're going to have to do this rise and then try to move inside. And again, let's even look at both here and the impact that it'll have on this up here. As you're coming back and inside there you do that big counter move on this one, and again, just riding the tail of that ski really, really hard around, and then grinding things out down below here, and you'll see where you're going to end up on this ski again, just grinding things out. Okay, so let's take a real quick look here. Hopefully we've got one more image that I wanted to show you here. Oh, I guess she is not there right now. Okay, I was going to show you one more image from Shift, but unfortunately I don't happen to have that one for you. But anyway, let's just go back and make sure that we're kind of just doing the things that we talked about, which was, let's be patient as we come through the transition here, instead of making this big counter move and then dropping back and inside. Stand on the ski, start driving the ankle forward, and then progressively building your angles. Your angles are, if you were ending your turn right about here, you've started moving laterally and tipping to the outside just about there. And if you would release and go, you'd almost be in a good position here. We want to see, a position where everything is, forward, that's on the inside of the turn, and you've got your angles. But here what you're going to do, of course, and you can see the divergence in the ski as it's taking off this way on you. And now you are kind of working it again with the upper body to try to get through the turn. But, your angles right about in here are kind of a nice position if that were the end of the turn. Unfortunately, you're not done with the turn. You're going to keep grinding and grinding and grinding all the way through here. So again, you can really get things completed much sooner by working the front of the ski here much sooner. So if we get things moving forward, get the ski to bite and work for us, then we can really slow down and progressively build our way through the turn, and we'll be done with our turning way up here, and we won't be grinding things out way down in here. So think about slowing it down, getting that ankle to move forward, and getting this angle here to build. So think that flex and tip, rather than stand on that leg and drop that hip inside and back. Flex and tip. Hope that makes sense. Have a great time out there, man. The big three are fantastic. Lake Louise is going to be great. Sunshine, Banff is going to be fantastic. Have a run or two for me while you're out there. If you have something super fun going on, drop a picture or a line. Have a great time, Tyler. Bye now.